Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. It is December 26th, and I am delighted to welcome you to my channel. For my brothers and sisters in the Commonwealth countries, we are celebrating Boxing Day today. And so that's cool. Mostly Boxing Day boils down to shopping for sales and continuing to eat too much, and probably watching movies and stuff. So it's usually typically a fairly relaxing day, and I sincerely hope that wherever you are and whatever you're doing, you also are having a nice time, peaceful, sort of recovering from Christmas, perhaps continuing to celebrate Christmas. Gearing up for the new year, certainly. So this is a very exciting time of year, isn't it? We've got a lot of changes coming. I mean, 2020 promises to bring in a very different kind of energy. If I think I had to sort of just boil it down to its essence, it very much is going to be a year of tearing down what doesn't work to make room for what does work. And I believe that that energy is sort of global. Okay, I think it's going to impact countries, companies, people. I just see it as a very broad-reaching sort of energy where we have kind of figured out what no longer works in our life, what we really don't want in our life. And it's time, with the advent of 2020, to say goodbye to some of that stuff, so that we have open hands to welcome in the new. So before I forget, for anybody who does not watch a YouTube channel by Victoria Serbo, I believe it is it's either S-E-R-B-O or S-C-E-R-B-O. She has sort of a daily astrology channel, and I typically start my morning with her almost every day. They're short 2 or 3 minute videos, and they just sort of give you a bit of a heads up of kind of what's going on in terms of the planets. But today's video, the one for December 26th, the last half of the video, she did sort of a little chat about boxes and boxes that go under her Christmas tree and why she does that and what it represents. And I have to tell you, it was one of the clearest examples of manifestation and how to manifest that I've heard in a good long while, certainly way clearer than I think probably I could have even given you. So if you have not checked her out, please do. And like I say, today's video, really, really valuable in terms of just thinking about what you do and don't want in your life and how you get more of what you do want. So, and the last thing I wanted to say is there was a poll or a study or something or another that came out today. And this is really scary. The evangelicals were asked sort of a simple question. And the question is, how much bad behavior would you forgive, or would you in fact forgive any bad behavior from a president? Forgive it, okay? Remember that. In 2011, under Barack Obama, the answer was 30%. Only 30% of evangelicals would forgive a president for bad behavior. Now, under Trump, that number has skyrocketed to 72%. So, that is just a super clear indicator of the way the evangelical movement has been twisted to sort of accommodate what's going on with Trump and frankly what's going on with sort of some of their politicians. So that's concerning, and frankly kind of a little sad, right? Because you're talking about people who for the most part really don't do a lot of free thinking for themselves. They sort of follow what they've been told to believe and think, and And so they do. And so that's kind of a sad commentary what's going on there. Okay, hold on. Thank you. Okay, so today I want to do two things, and I'll quit yammering on so I can get them both done. The first thing I want to take a look at is something called the Lincoln Project. Now, I don't know if you have heard about it or how much you have heard about it. I don't know a lot about it, but it is called the Lincoln Project Pact, and it is made up of, I think it's 7 advisors, or an advisory board of 7. And these are sort of diehard Republicans who are doing everything in their power, including supporting with money the election of Democrats. They're doing whatever they can to clear not only Trump, I think, out of the White House, but I'm thinking maybe a few other Democrats who have sort of, or Republicans, sorry, who have kind of maybe lost their way a little bit. So this is what's interesting. The 4 people that sort of I know the names of and recognize who they are is George Conway, Kellyanne's husband, is a significant part of this group. Steve Schmidt, anybody who watches MSNBC regularly would know him. He's very eloquent, very well spoken. He used to be an advisor to John McCain. A John Weaver, who again used to be a advisor to John Kasich, and Rick Nelson, who wrote that book called Everything That Trump Touches Dies. These are all well-respected Republicans who are just saying, you know, enough with this guy. So that's really interesting. So I want to take a look and see how that's going to go for them. I mean, they're attracting money because, you know, again, there are a bunch of Republicans who didn't drink the Kool-Aid, frankly. There's a bunch of Republicans who don't like what's going on, and they really want to see change. So that's what I want to take a look at first. So come on down, because I have a question. Okay, excuse that little box that you're seeing right there in the corner. Ellie the cat has decided that that is her bed of the day. So we're just going to let her continue her afternoon siesta. Okay, so Success Lincoln Project. Success of Lincoln Project. Success of Lincoln Project. And I believe that the Lincoln they're referring to is not the car, you know, like Abraham Lincoln. I think they're just trying to get back to something that represents normal. Okay, so interesting. This, as you all know, any regular viewers of mine know that the King of Pentacles is one of my trump cards. So he is front and center. He's the first card out. So bottom line there is he is their target, okay? He is who they want to see moved aside. And their problem with him is that he has literally stripped, he has taken away from the Republican Party those opinions, attitudes, ideas that have for a long, long time been part of the Republican thought processes. It's what they believe and what they strive to achieve. So things like honesty and integrity and lowering the deficit and being very firm against Russia. There are some things that certainly have gone by the wayside. Now, you know, again, the Republicans aren't perfect. They are looking, you know, they are the ones who want to get rid of Obamacare, and they are the ones who want to really slash Medicare. They're not interested in doing a whole lot with prescription prices, for example, or the opioid crisis, for example, because they really are very, very connected to sort of big business. And but my point here with this card is that there is definitely a kickback, a pushback for the fact that he has just stolen sort of almost like too many of the principles that the Republican Party stood for, and they are anxious to get him out before he absolutely completely destroys the Republican Party. And this is the thing. They are sort of detached enough and savvy enough to understand that if Trump has another 4 years, the Republican Party, as anybody knows or recognizes it, is going to be completely destroyed, because he really, really is trying to turn the United States into, I'm not sure if he's trying to become king or just a flat dictator, but it's one of the two. And being a president, which is part of 3 equal branches, is like absolutely not in Trump's agenda. So what has happened is there have been like-minded people who have come together, and they are starting to raise money because they're forming a PAC, or they have formed a PAC, which is going to allow them to sort of move forward away from what Trump is currently doing. And this Queen of Pentacles sitting here is telling me that, in fact, they have got the resources coming to them. They're off to a good start. Excellent. Okay, so they are moving forward in a positive way. And I think that they're even attracting money from some very big donors that typically would support Trump. Now, I don't know if it's the Koch brothers or the Koch brothers or the Mercers. But I know that one of them, if I remember correctly, was really already saying enough. We're not going to financially support Trump's re-election bid. So I would not be surprised if quietly behind the scenes, or perhaps even rather more obviously than that, if they aren't contributing to this Lincoln Project. So their emotions, the feeling of this project, of this group, is literally he must be stopped, because he has a way of playing on people's emotions, no doubt coming from a long corrupt career of selling things to people, right? Conning them. So he is really good at manipulating people's emotions, and that is significantly a part of what they really, really want to stop him in his tracks with, because it's like this is sort of talking about a balance, right? It's talking about all politicians kind of twist and tweak the truth. They want you to see things from their perspective and like their agenda. But what he's doing is just not, it's not even anymore about Republican or Democratic agendas. This actually has morphed into, he is attempting to destroy what the United States is and what it stands for, because Trump has his own agenda, and his own agenda is about greed. It's about accumulating as much as he can wherever he can. It is about ensuring that the people who are going to help him or be good to him going forward are well taken care of. And the thing with Trump is he's not even subtle about it, right? I mean, he brags about how much money he has made for his buddies at Mar-a-Lago. So, that is sort of where some of the Republicans are just saying, really, enough is enough. And it does look like the Lincoln Project is going to be able to move forward in a sort of a steady and rolling manner. And they have victory coming to them. Oh my goodness, look at this. This is wonderful. Okay, so they have sort of victory, and they have the Ace of Swords. So talking about their intentions behind the Lincoln Project PAC is to restore what used to be the Republican Party. And it appears that they're going to have some real success with that. Their messengering is going to get more, you're going to hear more and more of it as time goes on, but it looks like they may very well be a force to be reckoned with. And you know what? This is going to happen quickly, because to them it is imperative that he be removed, or certainly, if not removed from office. I don't think that's their goal. What they're trying to do is make sure he doesn't get reelected. But they're going to see a lot of success coming to them fairly quickly, and they're going to have a lot of support behind them. And I suspect even some support from people who would prefer to stay anonymous. But they're definitely going to have people coming behind them and saying, we can't, we cannot. The cost to keeping Trump in office for another 4 years is so destructive to the country that he has to be stopped. And that really does look as if they are going to be very successful in bringing about the end of him, so that they are going to have things to celebrate and be happy with. And look, you've got the 9 and 10 of Cups sitting here, along with the Page of Cups. So they're talking about emotions that there's reason to celebrate. There's a sense of emotional contentment. There is the feeling of a job well done. And because this is surrounding this card, it definitely indicates that their intention is to ensure he is a one-term president. And it looks as if they have beautiful, beautiful cards indicating that they really should have some success with that. They've got justice coming. And, you've got the 9 of Wands here. And Trump is going to feel this. Make no mistake, okay? And if we all have figured out, the one thing that Trump doesn't do well with is sort of competition, somebody who steals his thunder. He doesn't like when people criticize him or find fault with him. And when that happens, he gets defensive. And him being defensive and almost himself feeling like the end is coming, and he's not sure anymore if he can actually stop the end from coming, has him in a place of incredible agitation. And that is going to be the second part of this video. I'm going to take a look at him, but I don't want to get too distracted. I want to stay focused on the Lincoln Project PAC. Yeah. They are going to be okay. They are going to have good fortune. They are going to have good luck coming to them. They are going to be able to harvest and have a successful harvest of what they have planted and what they are trying to accomplish. And there is a sense that they are running against time. Okay, there's a sense that they have to get this thing up and running. They have to make sort of a lot of noise about it. They want to draw as much attention to it because they feel that it is imperative that Trump is basically, prevented from moving forward. Their message is going to be heard loud and clear. And again, they're willing to do the hard work. These are people who have vast political experience, okay? These are people who were advisors to, major Republicans. And so very interesting. They know what they're talking about. And frankly, they understand that they're up against a fool, and they understand that really they're up against not only Trump, but the people he surrounds himself with, who really have no business in politics. They're not political animals. They're corrupt animals. They're, in some cases, white supremacist animals. They're a lot of things, but they're not politically savvy. And so he continues to get bad advice from that core group of people that he surrounds himself with, in part because, of course, they can't tell him anything negative. So they are prepared. The Lincoln Project is prepared to do the work. They know who and what they're going up against. And you know what? It's going to cause stress. There are some things that are hidden, and I'm here to tell you, and you've got the Four of Swords, so you really have almost that sense that they're going to cause stress, anxiety, and a retreat. So this in and of itself could be enough to cause Trump to lose some of that momentum, to have such a loud and forceful and vocal group opposing him. But there's some stuff going on behind the scenes that we're just not quite privy to. And you know what? I have read before on Kellyanne Conway, and I have said before that her and George are not on different pages. They are reading the same book, and they are on the same page. George is the one who can sort of speak the truth, and Kellyanne is the one, I swear, she is the biggest leaker in the White House. And she is feeding him, her husband, insights and guidance so that they have a really good idea. Here's the fool. They have a really good idea of how to sort of bring him down. Okay? That's actually her job. She is forceful in defense of Trump when it serves her. And the reason it needs to serve her is because she really needs to continue to stay in place, because she is manipulating all kinds of stuff from behind the scenes. And so, while we may not appreciate, and I frankly just don't even like, the energy of Kellyanne Conway, because she comes across as fake and phony and condescending and aggressive and a liar, but it appears that she really is trying to keep two things balanced so that she does not lose her access. Because if there's something she has learned over the period of time since she joined Trump's campaign to today, is that he does not deal well when people oppose him. And so in order to stay where she can affect the most change, if you will, she needs to appear to be on his side. And you know what? That doesn't exonerate her, okay? Oh, look what's sitting on the bottom of the deck. Wow. That doesn't exonerate her. It really, really doesn't. But it would have been nice and frankly good for the country and good for her soul if she had been able to find a way to use her political savvy and at least attempt to pull Trump into something that at least was sort of less abuse of power than where he's at now. So she's made her choices, and she also will pay a price for those choices. But again, very interesting that her husband is definitely one of the movers and shakers behind the very thing, the very pact that is determined to bring Trump to kneel, to ground. Okay? So let's all take a moment and wish them some good success. Okay, I want to zero in and take a bit of a quick look at Trump. Frankly, you know what? I honestly don't expect much to have changed. With Trump these days, the energy about him is simply that he just gets more. It's more of the same. It's more anger. It's more rage. It's more, God knows, tweeting. It's more complaining to people who either have to listen to him or choose to listen to him. It is pushback on everything that even might be helpful to him because he's not able to take any advice. And I don't see that changing. I really don't. That is going to continue through the holidays. And you're going to see more of that taking place you know, as January rolls in, and January is not going to be a kind month for Trump. It is not. And I'm sure that most of you know this or have heard this, but the Democrats, they filed something with the courts, and they were asking the courts basically to sort of rule so that Don McCann would have to testify, because they flat out said there's information that he has that they believe could really impact and shed some light on their impeachment investigation, and they are not. They actually said this in the court filing. They will not hesitate to file more impeachment, more articles of impeachment against Trump as they continue to get more information, and they believe that Don McGahn is going to be a very fruitful, if you will, example, or you know, very fruitful source, if you will, of information. So, yeah. So again, this kind of stuff just enrages Trump, right? So let's take a look. Trump's current mental state. Trump's current mental state. Trump's current mental state. Oh, well, the poor fella is just feeling picked on. He's feeling like he is carrying more burdens than anybody should have to carry. And he would really like the government and the people in the White House to start doing what he wants. He just feels that if they would just listen to him, this would all go away, because he has spent his whole life making things go away. Unfortunately, he does not understand that you cannot, there is not an equivalency. You can't, you can claim bankruptcy in business and kind of basically have have it stop, right? It stops the financial disaster. And he somehow thinks that somewhere there is somebody who can wave a magic wand and make it all better and allow him to sort of literally walk away free and clear. And he just does not get that such a situation simply does not exist, okay? It's not out there in the world. So, okay, so what you have here is emotions that are overwrought, okay? You have somebody who is unhinged, who is just in such a negative place, in surrounding himself with such negative energy that, of course, he attracts more and more and more of that, and so it continues to basically multiply, right? The very energy that he's sitting in right now, he won't let go of it, so he continues to draw more of it. And of course, when he draws more of the very thing he's trying to let go of, but he won't let go of it, so he keeps drawing more of it, and it just keeps amplifying and amplifying. I mean, my God, never mind Victoria Serbo, this guy's doing a brilliant job of showing the world how manifestation works. Okay, he's not doing it to his advantage, but literally what you focus on, what you talk about, what you create, what you desire, that's how you bring more of it into your world. In his case, you know, he's bringing more of the very energy that is kind of making him crazy. So again, this is my other card for Donald Trump. And you have a small group of people around him who tell him what he wants to hear. And they're doing that because it's in their best interest to do that, okay? They are not doing it for the benefit of Trump. And that, I'm sorry, that includes his family members. So what he has is he is absolutely surrounded by people who are going to harm him but he's too stubborn and too pig-headed and too, like, kind of not very smart to understand that they too do not have his best interests at heart. So you can look forward, I want to say from now, let's say all, through January, certainly in the beginning parts of January, I want to say the first couple of weeks of January, you are going to see more and more of his ranting and raving and tweets that make not one little bit of sense. He just can't help himself. He will not be able to slow it down. So anticipate that there really is going to be forward movement of Trump, being Trump. There he is. He's going to charge ahead because, man, he can make it happen. He can get out of this fix. And, oh, sorry, I guess you're not going to be able to get out of the fix. Here comes the tower, because everything you built, Trump, was built on a foundation of lies, corruption, deceit, and foreign interference. It has to come down, and it's going to come down. His fortunes are about to change. And part of the reason, of course, is because he's not prepared. He's not that person who's prepared to put in the hard work. All he thinks about is money. And he thinks that money and that sort of power makes him strong. And actually, all it makes him is a bigger fool than he already is. Yeah. He's not capable of looking at it from another perspective. He's not capable of seeing people's true intentions because he can't read them, or he would have understood that Putin and Kim Jong-un are not his friends. But he can't decipher tricksters around him. And he just keeps trying to present a royal appearance because that's honestly who and what he sees for himself. And I'm sorry, but that tower's coming at him, and I don't think that he's going to exactly get what it is that he wants, but he is certainly showing every sign of getting exactly what he is manifesting. Okay. As we move towards the new year, I want people who are so inclined to start thinking about what they really would like to see 2020 be for them, for each of you, and recognize that given the energy of the year coming, it's going to be really a year of saying goodbye to some stuff and saying welcome, hello to other stuff. So take a moment between maybe now and the first of the year and give some reflection and some thought to what it is you want in your life, and recognize that therefore some things are going to need to leave your life in order to make that happen. I thank each and every one of you for the lovely, lovely messages. I am so glad that people enjoyed the spirit message. There's been a couple of them that I've released, and I'm really glad that they have been well received. If you enjoyed them and liked them, you're going to want to stay tuned, because I do have an announcement coming out in the beginning of January. And honestly, I'm not trying to tease you or string you along. Just astrologically, it's better for me to announce this kind of in the first week or so of January. But there is another YouTube channel coming. And so if you enjoyed it, you may very well have reason to think that there could be more of it coming out. Thank you for all of the Christmas messages that were sent to me. I will be going through the comment section of the last video and this video kind of together, because I really did just turn off my computer for a few days. And honestly, I kind of hope that you did too. And, just recharge, because there's a lot coming up. And not only does January look as if it is going to be quite the interesting month, but frankly 2020 looks like it also is going to be a time of recalibrating, restructuring, making things stronger. So get some rest while you can. Enjoy the balance of 2019, and And I, in all likelihood, will see you tomorrow or the next day. I'm going to still sort of be a little slow here until the new year, because I really want to continue to give myself some rest and, just keep the energy out there in a holiday frame of mind, a mind of gratitude for what we have and the blessings that we have, and maybe not focus so much on the stuff that makes us insane and crazy. And we all know whose name that is. Okay, that's enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so blessed to have the amazing viewers and subscribers that I have, and I thank you ever so much. And so for now, take care, be well, and I'll see you soon. Bye.